My name is Johnny Chris. I guess I'll tell you how I got into the Marine Corps. I guess it was the beginning of my senior year, and the movie Black Hawk Down came out. And me and the quarterback of the football team, a good friend of mine, we skipped school that day and went to the theater and watched Black Hawk Down. From the theater, Josh and I went to the Marine Corps recruiter depot, and that's when I signed up. After that, they had 9/11, so I was in the I forget what the program's called, the early entry, whatnot. Graduate high school, left for boot camp in August. Went through boot camp. My MOS was 0311 infantry. Went through boot camp, School of Infantry SOI. Took a recon indoc in the School of Infantry. Passed that. My first duty station was Norfolk, Virginia. Was there for a little bit. Hurt my leg. Got sent back to 1-6. From there, we were the 22nd MUSOC. We went to Afghanistan, served in Afghanistan. Came home for a few months, and then we started our workup for Iraq, and then I deployed to Fallujah, Iraq. I served with some of the best guys that I know. I mean, the best guys that America has to offer. Hands down, these guys would do anything for you. We did everything together. Personalities from the quiet guy to the wild guy. Went on both these deployments with the majority of them. Came back home. When we got back home from Fallujah, I didn't have much time left. The body was kind of banged up, so I got out. Stayed in touch with a lot of these guys. So what I really want to talk about is, so the guys that I served with, since I got out in 2006, we've had 4 of them I know for sure have committed suicide. So I'd like to share how I feel about that. To me, you go through all this work, all this training, blood, sweat, and tears. You battle here in the States, and then you go overseas and you battle there, and then you get home and you lose this camaraderie that I was just talking about, and you feel like you don't have anywhere to go, nobody to talk to. I was there at one point in my life. You feel lost. Nobody understands you. You struggle understanding them. And I guess you get to the point to you start having those thoughts of suicide. One of the ways that I guess I battled it, sitting around thinking one day, I was like, if I was to do this, I'm giving the enemy a tally mark on their belt, giving them a slash on their belt. If I was to off myself, they win. So I mean, think about that. If you're out there and you're watching this, and you're having thoughts like that, first off, there's plenty of organizations. Storm 22. This is a perfect organization. I'm not the only veteran here. This organization was built by veterans, and I've had the time of my life on this trip right here. It's been incredible. So what I'm telling you is, all the work that you did to get to where you are at that point, you're letting them over there defeat you by giving up. So if you're having thoughts like that, America asks that you talk to somebody.
Good afternoon. Please tell us a little bit about yourself, introduce yourself, and tell me about your organization.
Brad Ford. I'm the president of Storm 22 Incorporated. We're here today with Johnny Chris hunting over in Texas today.
Okay, how did you find this place where we are today?
A relative of mine named Russ Mason. We've been in contact over the years, just Facebook, text every once in a while, and I found out he was I think he's part owner of Willie's Fuels, and he also does a lot of hunting in Texas, and he told me about this ranch, and it's called 3D Ranch, and he invited us to bring a veteran over here.
And what do you think about the place?
It's awesome. What is it, 200 or 300 acres? But it's beautiful out here. It's been overcast since we've been here, but there's been a lot of animals. We've seen all kind of exotics, some whitetails. It's been a nice trip.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about Storm 22. What's its mission?
Storm 22 is it's veteran owned. We primarily try to help combat veterans with PTSD and TBI. We do various activities, but mainly we do hunting, fishing, but we want to do more. We got some scuba diving stuff coming up in the summer. We'll skydive, we'll mud ride, whatever they want to do, just to get them out of the house to have a relaxing weekend.
Okay. So you're also here with Mr. Johnny Chris. Tell me a little bit about how you came to identify Mr. Chris and facilitate this hunt for him.
So we were looking for a veteran to come to Texas. It was kind of short notice. After I talked to Russ, he's like, let's go, let's get somebody. A guy I worked with, Sean Gaelic, I told him, I knew he was a Marine, and I said, hey man, do you have any of your buddies that's worthy of this, that's being diagnosed with PTSD or TBI, and maybe they need a break, maybe they need to go hunting, go fishing, whatever they want to do. And he's told me to hang on, and he got on the phone, and that's when he called Johnny, and Johnny accepted, and he told me, he says, I got somebody right now. So that's how it came about.
All right. Mr. Chris, what would you like to say about Storm 22 and about your experience here? Tell us a little bit about your whole time here, from the time we arrived.
Okay, so I'll tell you from the first phone call. Brad just talked about how quick this happened. So I got a phone call. They mentioned Storm 22 and what Storm 22 was offering. It's the first time I've heard of Storm 22. So the guy who called started asking me a few questions and stuff, and I was like, well, why don't you have this guy that you're talking about, Brad? I said, get him to call me, because some of the stuff that they want to know is, it's not personal, but it's not something that you don't share with somebody that isn't close to you. So he said, not a problem. And it might have been 30, 45 minutes later, Brad gave me a phone call. He explained the organization. He explained his part in it. He explained what we were going to do. And just listening to him, the passion that was in his voice for what he does for these veterans, I was like, give me 1 second to get cleared hot for my wife, and I'll be right back. And sure enough, I told him, I said, man, I'm in. So I guess we had maybe a week and a half, and I met him at a parking lot on a Friday morning. Jumped in the truck, 6.5 hour trip. The whole time felt like it was maybe an hour trip. We just talked, shared stories, all kinds of. Just had a good time coming down. Once we got here, we pulled up in the driveway. We opened up the doors. 3D Ranch greeted us at the truck. They said, "Hey, get in these buggies, grab your gear. We got some work to do." Jumped in these buggies. They told us while we were on the fly. They said, "Hey, we're going to go after these rams. Are y'all good with that?" And we're like, "Yeah, let's do it." So we find these rams. figure out how we're gonna approach them, get set up. We're able to take a ram. I mean, this is literally 30 minutes here. Take a ram, come back, steaks, potatoes. I mean, just living like a king. Wake up the next morning, go on a spot and stalk. What we're trying to do is locate the animal that we're going to take Saturday evening. Find a group of animals. We pick one out Saturday evening. Jump on the stand. Y'all will see that if you haven't already seen it. Great hunt, beautiful. The guide was amazing. Get back to the camp. We start talking a little bit. Willie with 3D Ranch was like, man, you know what? We got some whitetail out here. We might be able to put you on. So we went looking for some whitetail. Found a few. Tried to hunt them this morning. We didn't get a chance to seal the deal, but I mean, what an awesome morning. The weather was awesome. I mean, everything about it was great. So from start to finish, I mean, I've been on cloud 9 from the first phone call to sitting in this chair right now. I mean, it's incredible. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for this.
Thank you for your service.
Well, how many animals have you seen since you've been here?
Man, so we got the ram. We've seen whitetail. We've seen axis deer. They've got black bucks out here. I forgot to mention this. One of the days we had about an hour while some people were getting some stuff together. I caught one bass. Had a bet with another guy who was out here with Storm 22. He caught 9, so he really didn't cut me any. He didn't cut me any slack. But yeah, so I mean the bass. What else? What else did we see out here? Went and shined some at nighttime, just kind of looking around. Rabbits. They set coyote traps while we were here. I mean, it was non-stop. Just if you could keep your feet going, then they were running. They were pulling you somewhere. So I mean, it was great.
All right, Mr. Ford, is there anyone you'd like to thank that sponsored or supported this hunt?
And there's a lot of sponsors, and forgive me if I leave anyone out, but you know, Gotham Archery is in Central Louisiana. They've been great. They donate a lot of stuff for our veterans. Also, Smart Move Realty out of Baton Rouge. They're a big sponsor of ours. You've got B&B Outdoors, who usually are with us, but they couldn't make it this time. But they do a lot of our filming too. Paradise, Louisiana, who they loaned us a camera for this trip. They couldn't make it, but they did give us a camera to use. So I'd like to thank them. K2 coolers. All the meat and everything we have right now is sitting in K2 coolers outside. We got 2 of them. I want to thank Russ Mason with Willie's Fuels, and of course 3D Ranch for this opportunity, for Johnny to make these harvests. And it's like he said, it's been awesome. And I've had a great time. This is the best time I've had not hunting, watching other people hunt. But it's been awesome, and I want to thank all of our supporters out there for the donations, and just keep supporting us. And this is how we're able to do what we do, is through donations. So please keep us in mind, and if you know any sponsors that would like to sponsor us, let them know Storm 22 needs sponsorship. So send them to our website or our Facebook page, www.storm22.org. Thank you.